fans, and welcome to the premiere episode of the On Fek Circle, brought to you by jaysfromthecouch.com and the Jays from the Couch radio podcast. We are streaming at you live on the Jays from the Couch YouTube channel, and we're going to do that every Tuesday evening at 7 o'clock Eastern Time. I'm sorry, I'm really bad at math, so I am not going to be able to tell you what time it is wherever you might be listening from. But you guys you're smart enough to tune into the show, so I'm sure you're smart enough to figure out what time to do that. And of course, I'm sure it'll be available as an archive on the Jays from the Couch YouTube channel. I'm Steve Feck, the Fekless Wonder, as I'm often referred to, and it is a nickname that I've earned through my time here at Jays from the Couch. Our founder, senior editor, Sean Doyle, came up with this great idea. Okay, we have jaysfromthecouch.com. It's been going on for a long time. I've only been involved since July of this year, when we thought it was going to be the Pittsburgh Blue Jays, where I am streaming from today. And also, we obviously have the Jays from the Couch radio podcast, which is a must listen. There's a lot of great Jays content out there. The first place you really need to go to is Jays from the Couch radio podcast, and also check out our fellow coucher AJ on her podcast, Locked On Blue Jays. But I digress. The idea was to actually have additional content out here on the YouTube channel, because maybe you're on YouTube more than you are listening to podcasts or whatever it is. We want to have a variety of programming available to you, centered on our Toronto Blue Jays. So we do have another show premiering very, very soon. That's going to be coming from the lovely Karen Sutar, the girl with Blue Jay colored glasses. Her show, The Sunny Side of the Dome, is going to be a very fan-oriented show, I believe. Karen loves the Blue Jays, and she is going to be able to talk with you about that shared love you have for the team. She tends to be optimistic, but she's also realistic. If something needs to be pointed out, she's going to point it out. But she really wants to help encourage and grow the Blue Jays fan base by sharing her very unique and her very informed perspectives on the team that we root for, really 12 months out of the year. Yes, the season's we don't know how long the season's going to be, or even where they're going to play yet, but the season really does extend 12 months for the diehard Blue Jay fans. So make sure that you look for Karen's Sunny Side of the Dome show here on our YouTube channel. And then there's me. I tend to look at things a little more, I don't want to say realistically, but I don't suffer fools lightly, I guess. And when something really gets me riled up, I sort of have a baseball Tourette's, where things just kind of come out of my mouth, and later I probably have to apologize to people and all. But I want you to think this is a conversation. This isn't just some dope. No, I am a dope, but this is not just some dope talking to you on YouTube about the Blue Jays. And it's not about my opinions. It's about our shared fandom. It is about a conversation. So I will make it a point to check back if any comments are left here, for the On Fek Circle. You can follow me on Twitter at the US of Jays, and I also maintain a US of Jays Facebook page, which I'm going to try to be a lot more active with, so that if you hear something and you disagree with it, or you agree with it, or you're like, I don't understand what you're saying, because again, being an American, I may need to translate it back into English for you, for those of you that are above the 49th parallel. But you may not like everything that I will discuss on my show, but it will make you think. Again, I do want to engage you and challenge you to think about some of the things that I might put forth that are not going to be atypical of what you would find on other blogs or other places. So hopefully I haven't scared you off. Okay. This show is as much about you as it is about me. And the better measure of pitcher performance, FIP, oh my God. Needless to say, here on the On Fek Circle, sabermetrics will be touched upon on occasion. I do not believe or formulate opinions based on sabermetrics. I think the analytics and sabermetrics can be used by anyone to prove whatever point they want to make. And in some ways, I wish you guys could be little flies on the wall or flies on the screen, I guess it would be, in our offline chat rooms, so you could see some of the conversations that go on. The people that, and Bob Ritchie is tremendous, as is Jim Scott, and really all of the couchers except me, they are terrific explaining what these numbers really mean and how they could be used to predict performance by your Jays on the field, or what the front office might be thinking of, assuming they are thinking of anything, to make the team better for 2021 and beyond. This is not going to be a sabermetric show. This is not, we're not going to have fancy graphs and, cute charts or things like that. Basically, the high-end technical aspect of this show are going to be, maybe I will change whatever t-shirt or jersey I have up above there. I'm always going to try to support the Jays from the Couch with merchandise that you can get on the website. Maybe move the baseball caps behind me around. That's about as high tech as I'm going to get. Once we get into the season, I have commissioned my daughter, who's a terrific artist, to design a Charlie Montoyo sock puppet that will be a guest host here on the show, because really, Charlie's a puppet. I mean, he's a really nice guy. And I know many people think, well, he was nominated to be manager of the year. So was Rich Renteria. Where's Rich Renteria managing this year? He's not managing anywhere this year. But I digress. We'll get to that point plenty of times during the season. I do have a clipboard, and I do have stuff written down that really I can't read, so I'm not even sure why I bother writing it down. I'll occasionally have maybe some cards to read off of, because I do want to work with all you Blue Jay fans that have been suffering through some of the frustrations of the offseason. But we're going to get to that a little later on. We're not quite ready for that yet. There is Blue Jay news today, so I guess I really should touch on that. And I didn't wear a cap. I usually do. I'm going to tip my cap to Ross Atkins, because today, or late last night and today, the Blue Jays made two very impactful signings. No, it's not George Springer. No, the Francisco Lindor trade didn't get rescinded, and now he's coming to Toronto. But Ross Atkins did what he really should have done back in November. Using the leverage and the payroll flexibility that the Blue Jays have right now to add pieces to improve the overall product on the field in 2021. Last night it was announced they signed Tyler Chatwood, former Angel. Is this Matt Shoemaker 2.0? No, I think Chatwood has a lot more going for him than Matt Shoemaker did. Shoemaker had some great days with the Blue Jays, but he's Matt Shoemaker. There's a reason that he has not been re-signed, at least to date. He has not been re-signed. They also announced today, and I have not seen the terms of the deal. The Chatwood deal is 1 year for $3 million, and I believe there are going to be incentives involved with that. And because, he has had some inconsistencies. There may be a concern as he ages that, we really like you and you're a good pitcher, and he is. He totally reinvented himself between 2019 and 2020. I'm not going to get into spin rates and all of that, A, because I don't understand it, but B, that's not as important as to what he will be able to bring to the Blue Jays as a potentially a starter. He wouldn't really be a front of the rotation starter, I would not think. He's a guy that I think will be used in leverage situations in the bullpen. And there's an idea that's been kicked around, behind the scenes, and I hope to have an article up at some point this week about piggybacking starting pitchers, because like it or not, and I hate it, and my guy Tanner Roark absolutely hates it, the days of Dave Steve and Roy Halladay, Jimmy Key going 8-9 innings into a start, that's gone forever. We're never, ever going to see it. Players are not developed that way. So we're going to be looking at 5-6 inning starts 2 times through the lineup. If Charlie gets distracted or Pete Walker is working on a chart, maybe do you sneak into a 3rd time through the lineup? But basically, that's the approach the Blue Jays want to take. They're sort of adapting the Tampa Bay Rays approach to how they juggle their pitchers. They certainly have developed the depth now that they can go to the bullpen early because they have enough reliable arms to come in to support what the pitcher may have given him the first 2 times through the lineup. So you can take a Tyler Chatwood who throws hard. He has a good slider. He throws hard. And maybe you piggyback him behind Ryu, who really, he's a scientist out there. He knows what pitch he wants to throw, in what count, at what time, where he's going to position it. But he's not really a hard thrower. If you put Chatwood behind him, great. And then when you have Nate Pearson come up in the rotation, maybe you have a Ross Stripling or another pitcher they might be signing. And to go ahead, from there and really keep that lineup off balance the best that you can. The other signing today is Kirby Yates, who is a premier bullpen arm. I know he had a not so hot 2020. You need to look at the whole picture. Going back to my buddy Tanner Roark, had a horrible 2020, but in the aggregate, he's a solid back of the rotation starting pitcher. Kirby Yates opens up all sorts of possibilities. It certainly takes the pressure off whatever young pitcher steps forward. We all think it might be Jordan Romano, but whoever it might end up being, it takes the pressure off of him because he won't be the only 8th or 9th inning guy. You're going to have a dependable veteran reliever that can come in. He can get tough outs. He's not going to be flustered, and he can mentor the younger pitchers in that bullpen. And the sky is the limit for Blue Jays pitchers, especially, I think, bullpen pieces. They need to add another starter. It wouldn't hurt to add 2 starters. And maybe Ross Atkins needs to get more active on Twitter. I know Mark Shapiro has an account, and follow Taijuan Walker, because Taijuan Walker is doing everything but bribing you to sign back with the Jays. He wants to be here, just like Robbie Ray wants to be here, and Taijuan Walker should be back with the Blue Jays and an integral part of that rotation. So there's been some signings. And there's been, of course, there's always the rumbling, oh, well, it's not Trevor Bauer. Well, so what? Okay, not every signing can be Trevor Bauer. Not every trade can be Francisco Lindor and Carlos Carrasco for the Island of Misfit Toys off of the Mets roster. Not every transaction can be that way. But just as impactful as signing a Springer, or if LeMahieu wasn't so certain he wanted to go back to the Yankees, or a Bauer, or whatever big name you want to throw out there in any year, it's as important to have all of the holes filled in the best that you can, maybe before you can go to a premier free agent and say, look at what we have. Look at the core we have. This is our shiny Christmas tree. Look how beautiful it is. Ooh, look at the lights. Now we want to put the star on top. You're the star on the top of our tree. That is really the approach I wish the Blue Jays would have taken, especially this offseason. They had the pieces. They had the market advantage. They had money to spend. They have a rising team. They should have gone out right away like the White Sox did, and our friend Alex Anthopoulos, who's now in Atlanta, did. Even the Royals did. And the Angels, to a certain degree, they went out early, tried to fill a hole right away, and they weren't sitting back and waiting for the prima donnas, if you will, the elite free agents to decide, well, maybe I'll come there. I would like to maybe come there. Does it hurt to see year after year these players not sign? Of course it does. It hurts a lot. It's hard to be a Blue Jay fan, which is why I've decided on our initial show to add a public service. We are very socially conscious. It's not just baseball. On many levels, it is. But Jays from the Couch, we see the big picture. Okay, here as the primary American representing Jays from the Couch and Blue Jay fans in the United States, we know what we did to you. We know it's our fault that the Jays didn't play in the Rogers Center last year. We realize it's frustrating you can't go see your team live. The people down in Dunedin are going to be happy, this offseason. I'm not sure the Rays will, because I'm pretty sure that the Jays in a smaller park still might outdraw the Rays, which is pretty sad. But I want to walk you through, and you need to take a deep breath. You need to be mindful, and you need to think about, how am I going to recover from this offseason? Okay, we're addicted to disappointment as Blue Jay fans. There's not really a need to be disappointed all of the time. Be mindful. Be peaceful. Follow my example. When do I get upset? Very, very rarely. And then when I do, I try to make amends. So I have a 9-step program for Blue Jay fans to help get you through this offseason. I didn't go 12 steps because I didn't want to risk any sort of copyright infringements on my very, very first show. I'll get in trouble eventually anyway. So I'd like to at least get a couple shows in before Sean throws a brick through his computer screen. But also, 9 steps makes more sense. We're talking about baseball. We're talking about a baseball team, a baseball experience. Plus, Barry Bonnell wore number 9. That in itself makes 9 steps more important. And for all you kiddies that are playing MLB The Show before and after you're watching this contest, for those of you that only remember the Blue Jays from the championship years of Joe Carter and Robbie Alomar, in 92 and 93, I remember when there weren't Blue Jays, when there were no Blue Jays. I did not grow up a Blue Jay fan because there was no Blue Jays to root for. Okay, I grew up a Red Sox fan, getting beat up on a daily basis by Yankee, Met, and Philly fans. Maybe that explains some of my edginess. I don't know. But the Blue Jays, I'm married to the Blue Jays. It's a marriage. I wouldn't call it a torrid affair. When I was a kid, I loved Carl Yastrzemski, so that's why I was a Red Sox fan. I'm a big believer that you have to have a team in each league. You don't need one major league team to root for. You should root for a team in the American League and a team in the National League. So really, once the pride of my alma mater, Raritan High School, Mark Lamangelo, got traded here in 1979, I immediately began following the Blue Jays. My career took me to where I was living in Western New York and upstate New York. It was easy to get the Blue Jay games, easy to get to Exhibition Stadium. So I fell hard. I married the Blue Jays really in 1984 after Yaz retired, and the marriage has been going strong ever since. Like every marriage, They could get rocky, but still, I am married to the Blue Jays, which is why I care about you. You're my family. Blue Jay fans are my family. So I want to help you through this. Now, step one, we admit we are powerless over our Blue Jays fandom. Why else would you be listening to me on YouTube if you weren't a truly diehard Blue Jay fan? And that can be difficult, sneaking box scores or trying to explain why at 2 a.m. you're getting up to answer, the message from The Athletic or from Sportsnet that might be a Blue Jays note. It's kind of hard to explain to a spouse that you're sneaking around in the dark trying to conceal you're getting information there. So we're powerless over that. It's okay. It's okay to love a team like that. So don't be embarrassed. Just go with it. Try to be as accommodating as you can, but admit your powerlessness over your fandom. Now, step two, to help get you past everything that's happened this offseason and remain a positive Blue Jay fan, you have to say, we've come to believe that powers greater than ourselves, our baseball gods, if you will, can restore us to sanity. If you are on Twitter all the time or whatever social media, TikTok, or whatever it is that's going on, and you're following Blue Jay news, you never know what in the world you're going to read. I mean, some fans will tell you, well, I don't see why, Aaron Judge and Garrett Cole can't be traded to the Blue Jays and we can give them back, some prospect from the Dominican Republic and maybe international signing pool money. You get answers like that. You need to find your baseball gods. For me, it's Ken Rosenthal, Peter Gammons, Jason Stark, obviously Shai Davidi, Keegan Matheson, the people at Jays from the Couch, hint, hint. Those are my baseball gods. That's where I get my information that I can trust and that I can feel, okay, I know what's going on. Don't listen to all the noise that's out there. Okay, this isn't AM radio. Okay, you're a Blue Jays fan. You can use the internet. It'll sound nice and clear. It's fine. So find your baseball gods. Let them restore your sanity. Don't let all of the other noise bring you down. Now, step three, we will make a searching, non-analytical, Fangraphs-oriented inventory of our fandom. Again, as I spoke earlier, analytics are helpful. I think there are some measurements like WAR or, OPS plus. Those are great. But as a rule, anything with a plus at the end, I'm skeptical of. I don't want to hear about weighted runs created plus. Okay, it's runs created. Did you create runs or not? Did the team score or did they not score? Did they win? Did they lose? That's the bottom line. Nobody wants to hear about the labor pains. They want to see the baby. Forget measurements. Don't be engulfed by them. It's okay to follow them, but don't totally go nuts and say, oh, well, we can't make this trade because the whatever it is, the baseball trade guru.com says we're going to get screwed on the deal. It's not all about that. It's what your team needs. It's what you feel maybe in your gut that the team should add to get better, not just analytics. Analytics are good, but don't get all caught up in it. It's going to ruin your thing. Step four, we will admit on embarrassing social media accounts the exact nature of our grievances or poor takes we post up there on social media on any trade or free agent rumors, not the actual trades themselves. Your opinion matters. It is as valid as mine, as anyone else's. But if it's a rumor, don't get sucked in. You need to apologize for some of the things you might put out there because the deals are just not realistic. I mean, I'm sorry, Trevor Bauer's not going to sign here. DJ LeMayo is never going to sign here. I have my doubts that Springer's going to sign here or Real Muto. Don't get caught up. Be realistic. What does the team really need? Third baseman, number 2 starter, center fielder, not what wild rumors you can put together that might seem good when you first put it out there. But as you start getting angry responses, which is my life on Twitter, is reading through my angry responses, that kind of takes away from the initial joy you had. So just, again, be mindful. Deep breath. There you go. Now, step 5 is we will make a list of all Blue Jays fans, players, executives that we have harmed in some way through a fit of anger or frustration and become willing to make amends to them all. The first person I need to make amends to, again, is my colleague, Karen Sutar. She often guest hosts with myself and Sean Doyle on Jace from the Couch radio podcast. You can see the pain on her face when I say some of the things I do, or I proposed some of the ideas that I actually think are good ideas. You can see the pain. It's almost like she's getting open heart surgery with no anesthesia. I apologize, Karen. I'm sorry. Reese McGuire. Sorry, I'm not out of Reese McGuire jokes yet. There's a bunch of them. I haven't even gotten to mistake it, for the stick shift or handling pitching staff. I've got hundreds of them, but I'm sorry if it hurts your feelings. And you need to, when you send a tweet out or you react angrily to somebody that doesn't agree with you, you need to make amends. Hey, look, hey, I'm sorry. Send a private message. You don't need to make it public. Look, hey, I'm sorry. I should have been more, understanding, more, not necessarily agreeable, but that was wrong for me to react that way. So always be willing to make amends. I'm not willing to make amends to Ross Atkins and Charlie Montoyo, but maybe I'll get there. Step 6 is we will learn to handle stressful situations like daily mistakes on the base pads or the missteps by the front office, this and every offseason going forward, probably the strategic mistakes that Charlie Montoyo is going to make in past and future seasons, and even those fly balls that Derek Fisher is going to misplay at a critical time in what ends up being a critical loss for the Blue Jays. You need to learn how to handle that stress. Feel the pain, let it go. Step 7, we will seek through baseball reference, Chase from the Couch, and other rational analysis by our baseball gods, ways to improve our fandom. Don't just read the information and disregard it. Become a better Blue Jay fan. Seek information out. Yes, you're going to run into Jay's Journal or JP Morosi or people like that. You're going to run into that. It's okay. Seek the truth. Improve your fandom. Okay? Step 8, no matter how many free agent whips the front office has made, how many retweets of false information by the aforementioned JP Morosi goes forth, and every point that you try to make that really contradicts common sense, and you read it and you want to get angry, just remain a loyal Blue Jays fan. And finally, step 9, having had all of these epiphanies and this fan awakening as a result of these steps and practicing them through the rest of the offseason, remember that we need to seek messages from places like Jace from the Couch and our baseball gods and practice these steps in all of our baseball conversations. Now it's time. Another deep breath. Sing a verse of Take Me Out to the Ball Game. Recite 3 ground rules that are in effect at the Rogers Center. And just say, "Hey, Medicino, can I get a praise the Lord Escurial?" I think I've tortured you enough for this week. I do hope you come back every single week, 7 p.m. Eastern Time, for the On Fek Circle, brought to you by JaceFromTheCouch.com, the Jace from the Couch radio podcast. My thanks to my colleagues. My thanks to Sean Doyle for believing in this show and all the content coming to you look for Sunny Side of the Dome. We're going to have an analytics show coming to you. Just thank you all for tuning in and for being Blue Jay fans. Be proud of being Blue Jay fans, especially you Americans out there. Follow me at US of Jays and the US of Jays Facebook page. For this premiere edition of the On Fek Circle, I'm the Fekless Wonder, Steve Fek. Thank you for joining. Hope to see you back next week.